Hi, today we are going to see how to create a MVC example application using Springboot, for which already I have created a Springboot application. While creating a Springboot application, I have chosen Spring Web dependency, DevTools dependency. Along with that, one more dependency what I have taken is the time leaf dependency. So why we have to go for the time leaf dependency is, as I have decided to use the static HTML pages to bring the JSTL purpose here, I have used a time leaf. So when you are creating the project, along with all the dependencies, whatever you are choosing, when you have decided to use your static HTML pages, do remember to add this dependency, which is time leaf. After adding the dependency, as usual, create a Spring Boot project. Now, in the application properties, we have to configure few things. First, let us see those things before jumping into the project. First thing is expand your source main resources. Here, usually there will be two folders. One is static, another one is templates. Templates is the place where we can have our HTML file. Because of this time leaf dependencies, these HTML pages will get loaded whenever we need them. So here I have few HTML pages. The first page is a simple index page. Nothing is there. I have just given here inside the body as a simple text index page. You can have any colorful pages. Now, for example, I'm making it simple. I'm just giving it as an index page. And here is my next HTML page where in the normal HTML page, I am adding only one string, so which I am going to take from my Java and I am going to append in this HTML page. So here is the use of this time leaf comes. Here if you could see in the XML namespace, we have included time leaf. So here directly this expression language will take the string content from the code and it is ready to display it in our browser. The next HTML page what I have made it ready is again with the time leaf namespace. I am taking a person object to be displayed in my browser. Either directly you can display or you can bring the same person.id and person.name string inside a form with some input type, checkbox, whatever you feel. Yes, everything is same. Do remember, for this purpose of bringing out these kind of expression languages, we have used the time leaf. So that is the purpose of that dependency. These codings, don't worry. The project I will be giving the link in the GitHub. In the description. The project you can download it from my GitHub account, and it is ready to use project directly. You can use it. So now, after adding a dependency and after creating the HTML pages in the templates, we have to do few more changes. So here in the application properties, you have to add this one line. So what is one line is, in the MVC, when we are making a view of the web pages, in the coding, we are going to use only the name of the files. For example, if I want to bring back the HTML page to a response, I'll be specifying it only as an index. And in this case, I'll be specifying only it as in one string, not as one string.html. We are configuring how the internal resource, the view resolver, has to be processed. In Spring MVC, we have to manually configure everything. Whereas the Spring Boot removed all the boilerplate code, all the web config and all those things. As we are using the time leaf, directly it comes to the template folder. From the template folder, it is readily look up the HTML pages available. So if we are adding the suffix as HTML here, automatically the system will understand like whenever our application is running, the dispatcher servlet will understood that the pages, whatever is fetching from the template or HTML kind of files. That's why we are giving this here. So make these three changes. One is in the pom.xml, we have to give the time leaf dependency. And second one is inside the templates, you have to use the HTML pages where whenever you are going for the expression language, you have to use the time leaf. And in the application properties, please do remember to add this one line of code. That's all. We are ready to go with the application. Now, let us open our source main Java. Inside my base package, if you could see, this is my normal main file. As usual, we will have for creating our application. Yes. So my application name is SpringMVC sample application. Yes, my application main file is ready. Next, I have created a simple Pojo class, a person class. Inside this person class, I have taken two variables. One is integer ID, another one is a string variable, which is a name string. And all other things in this Pojo class is a normal default constructor, parameterized constructor, get a setter for the ID variable, and get a setter for the name string variable. Along with that, I've just added a toString method for my convenience. Later to this person class, I have added the main controller class. So let us go for having a controller class. Here is the MVC controller I have added. Again, I'm saying the name is an optional. You can keep any name. Don't forget to add this annotation. The annotation name is address controller for handling all the request body content and the response body content. So here, as our application is the MVC application, we have to first know what is this MVNC. M stands for model and V stands for the view, C stands for the controller. Which is the model class here is our model class here is our person class. And what is the view? View is all the HTML pages, whatever we have created. And here we are having the controller. So in this controller, we are formulating our all the mapping requests. So what happens is the dispatcher servlet, when come to the controller, it reads the request and the corresponding response will be prepared by invoking the corresponding web pages. So here, let me show you in a step-by-step way so that it will be easy for understanding. The first one, what I am doing is, I am creating a model and view object. So what is the purpose of this model and view object is, now let me say one string is my object. So let us make this few things clear. So here, say for example, if you could see, this is my file. OneString.html is my file. So now what I am doing is, I am fixing my view. This web page is going to be, this HTML page is going to be my response page. In this HTML page, what is the object I want to include? For example, now I want to add only one string. So for understanding only, I kept the name as OneString.html. Now I just want to add only one string of data to be added in the response. So what I am doing is, so assume this is my string. What I'm doing is, this word I'm trying to, so this add object, what it will do is, this value will be assigned to this str. Now, let us open this onestring.html. You could see that str value, what we have assigned here, hope it will be clear now, this str value is this. So in the HTML page, whatever the value you are assigning for this string, that string value will be displayed here inside this paragraph tag. This is very simple. So for making this object in a response page, in an HTML page, we are creating an object for this model view class. So in the model view, I am adding one object, then I am setting this object to be displayed in which response. So I want that to be displayed in my onestring.html. Do listen, here we are not specifying that HTML as we have already configured the suffix in the application properties. Here I am giving only the file name, one string, one string. So what is the nmap we have used here is a slash. Now let us just go to the main class and let us execute our project once. Springboot app. See here the endpoint what I have used in the controller is only a slash. So after the project is executed successfully, let us go to our browser, localhost My application number is 8081 slash. Here you could see that a simple string is getting displayed. A simple string is getting displayed because of the string whatever we have added here. Yes, here. Whatever we have added here, the string value what I have taken is Mitrama, that is reflected in the response page. So this is how you can bring a particular data to a web page. Coming to the next thing, for example, now let me say I don't want to bring any content. I want to display only the web page. Whatever the web page colorfully you have designed, that web page alone you want to display. Then what you can do is you can have a simple get mapping method here like this. So again, the return type is model and view. I'm returning a new model and view object, whereas in this case, I didn't add any object. Simply, I'm specifying the index file name. So here in this case, we are going to invoke this HTML file. As I've already shown you earlier, index page contains nothing, only a simple text stating that it is the index page. So now let us say how this is working. What is the endpoint I have given as page? You could say that it is displaying only the page. Why? Because in the index.html, I have given only a index page as the content inside the body tag. If you want to have a colorful designs and colorful logos, colorful images, videos, yes, of course, you are free to include everything here. And whatever the images and all those things, whatever you are using, do remember to place all those that external components inside the static folder. So again, I'm repeating. If you want to bring back only a page without any data, no need of adding object, no need of setting any view. Simply, you can directly, no need of doing all these steps. Simply what you can do is just return a new model and view with the index page, whatever you wish. Next, let us say if I want to display, for example, assume you are having some object, some person class object or employee class object or student class object, whatever it may be. From that object, I want to fetch one particular data. For example, here we have randomly added one string. Assume that it should not be a random string. I want one data from one object to be displayed in so and so location. So and so browser in some element of your browser, like in the table, as a result of some calculation, some particular value, or let us say if you are having a person class, you want to display only the person designation or only the person salary, something, some specific data from your object. Then what you can do is, again, let us go for the model and view. Here, if you could see, as usual, I have created an object for the model and view. Yes, my object is ready. Of course, we are going to use this add object for adding the data and set view name for mapping the corresponding HTML page. In this case also, I am going for the usual, that previous same onestring.html page I am taking. But this time, for this str, what is the value I am assigning is not a random value. Assume I am having some object. So here I have outcoded the object value directly. If your application is having a ORM and if it is having any database or if it is having a collection as a repository, assume you can fetch the data from there as an object, and from the object use the getter method to fetch any particular field of value as per your interest. That value you can assign to the string variable. So I hope you are clear. After assigning to the string variable, automatically this onestring.html is ready to display the string variable in our web page. Understand? In the previous code, the same set of code, the only thing what we have changed here is I have introduced a hard-coded direct object, and then instead of directly giving the name here, from this object, whatever the value I have given as a part of the object, now from this person object, here person dot get name string. If you want to display the ID, you can write like person dot get ID. Assume if you are using age, you can write it as person dot get age. So whatever the getter setter method we have in the person class, that is in the model class, that data you can fetch it very easily to your browser. So here, let us see how it works. Here this endpoint is person. Let us go to the browser. Let us make the endpoint as person. Yes, you could see now it has fetched only that particular data from my object. My object is person ID is 111 and the name is Mitra. Now it has taken only this name from my, extracted this name alone from my object, and I have added it to the view onestring.html. The next question. What if suppose I want to display my entire object? Yes, of course, you're free to use. So what you can do is just like this. Here in this case, we are going to have the same model and view object, but what makes the thing is now I have decided to use an HTML page where that HTML page is now ready to receive each and every component of my object. For example, inside my person class, I have two variables. Now, in the HTML page, if you could see, this for time being forget, here if you could see, I am having an expression language to display the person ID as well as the person name. As we are having a time leaf, now this expression language is ready to receive the value whenever this web page, that means this HTML page is get invoked. So who is going to pass this value is, here you could see that whenever I am raising a request with the show endpoint, hard-coded object is directly object is getting created. Now I'm not adding a single object. I'm not adding a single object. Instead, I am adding an attribute. So what is that attribute? Attribute is my entire object. Attribute is nothing but my entire object. What is my object now? Person. So what is the name I am giving to map this in my view? So person is the name I am giving to map it in this view. This person and this person is same. In case if I am giving here only not a person, let us say if I am giving here as user or P, then here in the HTML page, you have to give here as user.id, P.id. So simple. So here for this object, I am just giving a reference to be marked up in my model. What I am doing, give the attribute a name. That's all. So this is my attribute. This is a name. Now, what I am saying, I have added my attribute. Now, where the model has to be viewed. It has to be viewed in the HTML page called as person.html. It has to be viewed in the HTML page called as person.html. So this is how the entire object view can bring back to the web pages. Now, what is the endpoint is show? Let us go and see. Show. So here, if you could see, it is ready to display my ID number as well as my name. If you don't want to be displayed as a paragraph or a span of text, if you want to display them inside a text box, or if you want to display them in a table as a set of records, yes, of course, you're free to go. So here in the person.html, if you could see, if I want to display same thing in the form, is to listen here, the same content, the same expression, same set of statement I have given here. But where I have given is just inside a form, inside a input type as a text. So because of this, what happened? In the web page, the data is displayed inside the text box. If suppose I am using a table, inside the table I want to display the student object or the person object, whatever it may be, then here in your HTML, you have to add the corresponding elements. But where in place of data, you have to use this kind of JSTL. I hope this video is clear for everyone. So SpringMVC is nothing but we are going to map our model with our view. Controller is for mapping the request, and where we are going to map our model with the corresponding views. Again, as a short, crisp summary, do remember to add your time leaf dependencies inside the template. We have to add all the HTML pages in the application properties. Add this one piece of code. Don't forget this dot. It is very important. Dot HTML. Then only the system can add automatically the view name, whatever you are giving, along with this dot HTML as a suffix. After making your pages ready, then you are ready to run your project. The same project, I have zipped it and I'm giving it in the GitHub. Link is in the description. You can download and check. Please proceed with the updated HTML documents. Now I have given a very simple page. Make your pages more colorful. Happy coding. Thank you all.